Hey, noble ones, welcome to Metatron's Academy, and my gosh, you guys get it always right. You find the best videos for me to check out. Case in point, the video by Ecolinguist, which he posted 3 years ago, called Sicilian language versus Italian versus Spanish versus Portuguese. Can they understand it? As a Sicilian native, I'm actually interested in this. So let's have a look if you got it right.
Benvenuti a tutti e benvenuti no canale Ecolinguist. Io sono Filippo, sono professore di italiano e inglese, ma stai nata parliamo in siciliano. A cura, il siciliano è una lingua che ha assai dialetti.
Definitely from the west of Sicily. There is an overabundance of E. And yeah, that already tells you, like, for instance, if you ever meet someone, let me tell you a secret. If you ever meet someone from Eastern Sicily, ask them, how do you say door? And they will tell you, a botta. And then repeat, a buaita. They'll hate you for it. And it's going to be great. Okay, so up to this point, he clearly selected words that are the closest, I think, because the only one that was kind of difficult, I think, for someone who doesn't speak Sicilian is the word accura. Accura means be careful. Cura, s'accura. In Italian, it would be attento, stai attento, fai attenzione. In Sicilian, it's accura. We can do that. You could do that with any language, really. But one thing that I could totally do is I could absolutely specifically look for words that are closer to Spanish, to Italian, to Portuguese, if I knew Portuguese, in order to make it for an easier communicative encounter and event. Or I could choose the ones that I know are going to be a lot harder because Sicilian is full of it.
Il siciliano che parlo io è chi dorimpaliemmo, la Sicilia occidentale, che è assai diverso.
Oh my gosh, people in the East are so gonna cringe.
Siciliano, per esempio, di Catania, l'Oriente. È tutta un'altra musica.
Yeah.
Ok, questo era importante. Con me ci sono 3 amici forastieri, un italiano runoid, una spagnola e un portoghese, e a capire se devono capire il siciliano.
Yeah, so far, very cool.
Insieme a fare un gioco. Ma prima vi volete presentare?
Insieme, it's like together.
Davide?
Sì, io mi chiamo Davide, io sono italiano di Torino. Torino è nel nord-ovest dell'Italia, in una regione che si chiama Piemonte.
Sì.
È un canale che si chiama Podcast Italiano per chi impara l'italiano.
Sì.
Blanca?
He gets a lot of views, I think. He's got a lot of videos.
Hola, yo soy Blanca, soy española, soy del norte de España. Es una ciudad pequeña, se llama Miranda de Ebro, que pertenece a Burgos, en la región de Castilla y León. Pero ahora vivo en Edimburgo, donde soy profesora de español.
Everything, that was very simple.
O meu nome é Leonardo, sou português de Lisboa e também tenho um canal de YouTube chamado Portuguese with Leo.
Up to this point, I understood him.
Onde também ensino a minha língua, o português. E Lisboa é a capital de Portugal.
Lisboa.
Está no centro-sul do país e é uma cidade lindíssima.
Yeah, I understood everything.
Buono, grazie.
The power of Romance languages.
Allora, facciamo un gioco insieme. Voi avete ansietà.
This is a really interesting one I wanted to focus on, the word vuaci. That means it's literally the same as saying vosotros in Spanish. It's you, others. And it's something that we do in Sicily. Nuatri, we, vuatri, you plural. And in Italian it would just be noi, voi. But in Sicilian we say it a lot closer to Spanish.
Dare, addivinare, 5 parole. Se siete liesti possiamo cominciare.
Se siete lì, sì.
Estamos prontos?
Sì,
Preparata.
iniziamo.
Allora, la prima parola è un ciavaglio.
Un travaglio. That means, should I spoil it? But anyways, let me tell you a little bit about this one before they go. I think it should be pretty easy for the Spanish speaker. I don't know how they say it in Portuguese. So the Northern Italian, maybe because it's quite famous. If he has watched like mafia movies, he would probably recognize it. Plus he's a language guy, but if he were to be just a regular Northern person, I don't know if they would understand it. So, un travaglio is a job, and the verb travagliare is to work in Sicilian. Now note that it's quite distant from the Italian counterpart, which would be lavoro, a job, work, and lavorare, which is to work. But as I was saying, in Spanish, trabajar, very similar, and travailler in French.
Un mestiere.
Yeah.
U travaglio cristiano.
That's another interesting one. Did you notice it? So the job, u travaglio, do, of, a, cristiano. It doesn't actually mean, I mean, it does mean Christian, but in Sicilian, Christian is often used just to mean a person. Isn't that interesting, such a cultural aspect of it? So you could say, Antura vidi un cristiano davanti a putia, which means, so a minute ago I saw a person, a guy, in front of a shop. Antura vidi un cristiano davanti a putia. Isn't that fascinating that it just becomes, I don't know when that happens, definitely not under Arab rule, but it could have happened already to say cristiano for a person, a man. I think it could be already under Norman rule, perhaps. Who knows? I'll have to look into the etymology of that.
Cristiano non è religioso. Cristiano significa signore.
Significa in Sicilian I would have said bene a dire. Un cristiano viene a dire un signore, una persona. Yeah, persona.
Sto cristiano viene a tua casa quando tu hai un tubo, una tubatura rotta. Magari c'hai a casa chi acqua. E dove viene? E assistiamo.
Notice idu. Idu or ida is how you say he, she, right? Lui, lei in Italian. Isn't it fascinating that if I'll have to make a video between the differences and similarities between Sicilian and Latin, but if we open very quickly a page, how do you say he, she in Latin? There are, of course, several choices. It has to do with conjugation as well, or the context, the syntax. I don't want to go too deeply into it, but as you see, when it comes to she, there are lots of different options. Ea, for instance, but you also have illa, which is very similar to Sicilian idda. Basically, it's a swapping of the L into the D, which happens a lot in Sicilian.
Capiste voi?
Ok. Sim.
Credo di aver capito.
Sì.
Também acho que sim.
Yo creo que también lo tengo.
It must be like un idraulico, like a plumber, I guess.
Allora potremmo scrivere.
Scriviamo?
Amoni.
Amoni is another one that is great in Sicilian. Let me get. So amoni, and you can also say amoninni, depending on the era. Depending on the area. But amoni is kind of a let's go. In Sicilian, it would be like andiamo, particularly if you actually use it as let's go. But in Sicilian, it's amoni in Palermo, amoninni in other areas of Sicily.
Filippo,
Sì.
¿puedo hacerte una pregunta solo para estar segura?
Can I ask you a question just to be sure? Man, in Spanish is... I think I'm getting there with Spanish.
Sì.
Es un trabajo relacionado con el agua y con tuberías, ¿verdad?
Sì.
Sì.
Vale.
Andiamo?
Sì.
See, he said andiamo. A Sicilian would say amoni. Amoni.
Amoni.
See?
Fatemi abbiriri.
Fatemi abbiriri.
Pera, eu escrevi com uma letra horrível. Vou fazer uma letra melhor. Espera aí. Porque eu tinha escrito muito feio e agora escrevi melhor.
Ma è buono.
Fontanero, para mí,
Mhm.
creo.
Buono.
E in italiano? Idraulico.
Idraulico, which comes from the ancient Greek word for water, which was, I believe, hydros. I think in modern Greek they just say nero.
In siciliano è fontaniere.
Fontaniere, it's very close to Spanish, and she's
A
happy.
minha é canalizador.
Wow, like a canalizer. It sounds
Porquê que o
complicated.
meu vídeo está ao contrário? Vocês veem direito?
Sì, si vede.
Fine.
Non,
That's fine.
nessun problema.
Si vede bene.
Sí.
Non è tipo così. No.
No.
So he also speaks Italian, cool.
Tipo
No,
specchio.
si vede giusto,
Ok.
si vede dritto.
Ok,
ok.
sì.
Obrigado.
Estoy sorprendida porque creo que la palabra más similar al siciliano es la española,
See, true.
que yo hubiera esperado que
Vero,
fuera
sí.
el italiano.
Sì,
And I've noticed that I wish he would point out that that's the same with the verb to work and job.
fontaniere è come spagnolo.
Sí, de verdad que sí.
Even
Because-
como is closer to Spanish than come in Italian.
È quasi preciso.
Pero
dishes.
también gracias por tu aclaración de que cristiano no es religioso,
Yeah, well, I mean, it can be, it's both, but yeah.
porque mi mente fue directamente a la religión.
Sì, è una parola assai tipica, dire,
Sì.
almeno in Italia, Sud, dire cristiano invece di signore.
I don't think it's just in southern Italy, because now he said it's a typical thing to say Cristiano instead of person or a man. He says in southern Italy. Is it only in Sicily? If you're from like Naples, I don't remember people using it in Naples. Or maybe they do. Well, you let me know if they do in Calabria, Naples, Napoli, Campania, Puglia. For sure, we do it everywhere in Sicily. I don't know about the rest of southern Italy, but maybe he's right.
Eu também pensei a mesma coisa quando disseste isso. Por
I
isso,
saw the same thing when he said that.
obrigado por esclareceres que não era.
Sí.
So Portuguese is fascinating. When he speaks, at least Portuguese, when he speaks, I don't understand much, but if I read it, I do.
Buono,
Perfetto.
bravi. Allora, attacchiamo con la seconda parola.
Say,
La seconda parola, un è un ciavaglio.
un ne is it's not. Un ne. Non è in Italian, but in Sicilian, un ne.
Ma è d'un se ciavaglia.
So it's the place where you work.
È una putia.
Putia. See, I use the word putia today. It's just it's like a shop, a putia. I think Italian, the closest would be bottega.
Una putia è tu accatti e benni.
Accattare, notice, is the Sicilian verb to buy, to purchase. And in Italian, they say comprare, or we say comprare in Italian. But accattare exists, it's just that it's archaic. So if you open the Bible and read it in Italian, you will find the word accattare, just like in Sicilian. But that's, I think, the only case in which at least northern Italians use it. I know people in Naples use it as well. So it's a southern thing. I don't know if it's used all the way up to Rome, but Naples, Campania, Calabria, I think we all say accattare. We maintain the archaic word. However, a massive difference, let me put myself full screen for a second, a massive difference between Western Sicily and Eastern Sicily, even though we all say accattare. Big difference is how we conjugate in the past. So in Palermo, the Western Sicilian, if you want to say I bought, you would either say accattavu, which is the most commonly used, and some people even conjugate it into accattava. Ma accattavo una macchina. Note that in Sicilian, a car is macchina with just one C, whereas in Italian it's macchina. So m'accattavo una macchina or m'accattava una macchina, they're both used in Palermo. But in the eastern section of Sicily, they say accattai. Avu ava is the past conjugation in Western Sicily. Ai is the past conjugation in Eastern Sicily. Not sure what they do in Agrigento, to be honest. If you know, let me know.
È come umilicato. Umilicato è fa assai putie.
There was a problem with the connection there.
Na chista putia, to accatti a cainne.
Ah, kainne. Yeah, he said kainni. I would say kainne. But then again, meat, the fact that he's basically swapping the R for a E only happens in Western Sicily. And I want to say northwestern Sicily. In fact, it's typical of Palermo. I don't even know if they do it in Trapani. Trapani it's kind of close to Palermo, further west, and they have completely different vowels. Like they have closed vowels in Trapani, which is so strange because usually people who know Sicilian associate it with very open vowels. But Trapani, they only use closed E. So instead of E, they go into E. And it's something that I would always make fun of, I'll be honest with you. It's fun though, it's fun. I think in Eastern Sicily they would just say canne, unless they have a dedicated word for it, which they may have. But in Western Sicily, caine.
Dato è fa assai putie. Na chista putia, to accatti a cainne. Ok?
Ok.
Non capiste?
Okay, so the word of course is the butcher, which in Italian is macellaio. In Sicilian is carnezziere. O cainezziere.
A putia non ne s'accatta cainne.
Ok.
Allora, potremmo scrivere?
Sim, sim.
No,
Magari
yo
qualcuno ha qualche domanda?
Eu acho que percebi. Acho que percebi que é onde se compra a carne. Por isso, se
Exato.
quiseres, mostro-te. Posso?
I haven't got a clue what he said, the Portuguese speaking.
Ou espero?
Sì? Avvici a voce romane?
Não. Perguntas, não.
No?
Yo muchas. Estoy un poco Estoy un poco perdida. Has dicho que no es un trabajo, es una acción.
No azione. Runni tu travagli, runni tu accatti. È una putia. Comunicato.
Vale.
Sì.
Oh, vale, vale.
Sì.
Es similar a una tienda, ¿sí?
Mhm. Preciso. A putia, runni, accattamo, acainne.
Oh, perdón. Ajá.
Ok? Buono, credo che potremmo scrivere.
Andiamo?
Vai, Davide.
Ok, io ho scritto macelleria.
Mhm.
Yo he
Vai, vai.
escrito, carnicería.
So it's like oh, she's gonna love it, just like Spanish.
Eu
Bene.
escrevi talho em português de Portugal e para os brasileiros que estiverem a ver, açougue.
Wow, unrecognizable, both of them.
Ah,
Em Portugal dizemos talho e no Brasil dizem açougue.
Interessante, è assai diverso. Perché in siciliano è carnezzeria.
Yeah.
Ok.
carnezzeria, sembra spagnolo.
Una vuota
spagnolo,
è
sì.
assai consimile ao spagnolo.
Talho, para quem fala italiano, tagliare.
Ah,
Sì, è
so
vero.
I
Sì.
see.
Cortar a carne.
Sì.
Sì.
Mentre in italiano macellare vuol dire uccidere un animale.
Mhm.
Quindi il
Yeah, to
macellaio
slaughter.
è la persona che macella un animale.
It's basically the slaughterer in Italian. And then carnezzeria is like a meat, it's like a meat monger, basically, in Sicilian.
I vegetariani o i vegani in ascolto non saranno felici. Comunque,
Sì, giusto.
Já agora, se vos interessar, a palavra açougue, que já não se usa em Portugal, antes usava-se, já não se usa.
Ah, I see.
Usa-
So they used to use it in Portuguese. And so basically Brazilian Portuguese is more conservative in this aspect.
no Brasil, vem do árabe
Uh-huh.
souk, mercado.
Ah,
Sì.
cool.
Porque tivemos, a Blanca sabe muito bem, em Espanha e em Portugal tivemos muita influência árabe
Mucha.
e por
sí.
isso vem daí também.
I see.
interessante.
Pronto.
Buono, bravissimi.
Finora c'è una somiglianza tra siciliano e spagnolo.
Of course, the subtitles are wrong. He didn't say up to now there is a similitude between Italian and Spanish. He's actually said up to now there is a similitude between Sicilian and Spanish. Of course, once again, I do have a feel that Sicilian does have a lot of common areas with Italian, like a lot, probably more than it does with Spanish. But depending on which words you use, sometimes it will actually feel like it's closer to Spanish. It's just one of those things that it really depends. We would have to look at charts with it, numbers, exact numbers of words. I'll probably do that one of these days.
Sí.
Credo che non ci sono assai problemi. Passiamo alla terza parola. Ok.
I don't know what happened
think-
there. It just said ABC at the bottom.
Questa parola è naimalo,
Naimalo, it's an animal.
un armale. Staimalo è assai tipico da Sicilia.
Okay.
Potremmo dire che è l'aimalo simbolo. Un animale assai importante per travaglio, per trasportare, per caricare cose pesanti.
Carriare is such an interesting verb, isn't it? It means to carry. Yeah, trasportare, I imagine in Italian, closer to transport, but carriare in Sicilian, yeah.
È pure cristiani, però una volta hanno passato, che sai, ora ci sono le macchine,
See? Macchine with one k sound.
ok?
Ok.
Un animale per travagliare. Un animale considerato stupido, però non è vero.
Ok.
Ok, avete romane?
Quindi è una parola che si può usare anche per insultare una
Sì.
persona.
See, mostly you can use it. It's a word that you can use to insult, as he's saying, which is correct, but I think it's mostly used in the school. Used to be used. I don't think they use it anymore. But when you have like a student who isn't particularly brilliant, then yeah.
Dire che una
Sì.
persona
Sì,
un po', come hai detto, stupida.
Sì.
sì.
Un po' tonta.
Sì.
Ok.
Ok, acho que sei.
Saccio se na Spagna, no Portogallo è la stessa cosa.
Maybe.
Eu acho que sim.
Vale,
Talvez.
pienso que sí. Si es la palabra que yo sé, la usamos en España también para insultar a una persona, pero también es un animal, ¿sí?
I hope she's not thinking of the goat, because that's
Sì.
not it. Donkey.
Mesma coisa em Portugal.
It is the donkey.
Allora, scriviamo.
Scrivi.
Ok, sono pronto?
Vai.
Io ho
Buono.
scritto asino.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yo he escrito burro.
Sì.
Sí.
Igual.
Okay, they all
Burro.
got it.
E burro.
Muy, muy interesante porque es igual en español y en portugués es igual.
Sí.
Y en España, y
La pronuncia è diversa, the pronunciation is different.
sobre todo en países de América Latina, usan burro, pero usan asno, como en italiano.
Oh, that's very interesting. So what's also interesting is that the word burro exists in Italian, but it means butter.
También.
Interessante.
Aqui também temos asno, mas
Também.
burro usa-se mais. Sim.
Sì,
No idea what the guy said from Portugal.
perché in italiano burro è tutta una cosa.
Sì,
Buono, ma
è
in
un-
siciliano? In siciliano è scecco.
Uscieco. Yeah.
Peculiar.
Olha,
Peculiar.
o checo,
Yeah.
è articolo.
Yeah.
em português também, o.
Yeah, exactly. We have the same article in Portuguese. You spell it with an O, but you read it U. And in Sicilian, we spell it with a U, and we read it U. And it means il in Italian or the in English, but do keep in mind that it's just used for singular masculine.
Igual. O checo significa homem, uma pessoa do sexo masculino da República Checa. O checo.
Oh, well, in way I get it. Yeah. Check.
Igual.
Ok.
Interesante.
Tipo, o italiano, o siciliano, a espanhola,
O siciliano. Yeah.
o checo. É uma
Oh man, that's so interesting. Okay, so as usual, give him a like. I don't watch the whole video as to encourage people to go and finish the video if they had a good time. Click the link in the description or in the pinned comment. And as of now, I've got to say, very cool, very cool. I have to start making content on Sicilian one of these days because it's going to be good fun. Maybe even come up with a set of sentences that I know for a fact are the hardest to understand because they have less similarities with other Romance languages, or maybe they do, but they sound different. Yeah, that'd be cool. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for joining Metatron's Academy. Bye.